talking of pullback injuries, we need to consider more than just the behavioural implications when a horse pulls back in the tie-ups. And we also need to be extremely mindful of those horsemanship practices which rely on overt pressure on the halter, where a horse might run backwards with a human attached to a tight long line, or in situations where the horse is having difficulties loading and they're sitting down at the bottom of the ramp with the human sort of hanging onto their face trying to pull them up the ramp, or in training situations where the horse is being lunged and they get scared and the human ends up pulling them round by their head to stop them from running. Their headpiece on their halter sits directly over the atlanto-occipital joint, and in some cases, if the head collar is large or badly fitted or slips back, that pressure can actually shift over the atlantoaxial joint. And these joints are associated with the myodural bridge. Now, this is a connective tissue structure that links the small suboccipital muscles to the dura mater surrounding the spinal cord. This area is rich with proprioceptors and mechanoreceptors, telling the horse where they are in space and also supporting them with their balance. And this area is extremely susceptible to injury. When this area is compressed or subjected to sudden force, such as during a pullback incident, horses, much like humans, can experience headache-like sensations, and they can experience tension around the area, or they can also experience referred pain around the TMJ. Additionally, this sudden strain can create what I like to call fascial drag through the superficial dorsal line, which is the myofascial chain which runs from the temporal muscles along the top line, down the hindquarters to the underside of the pedal bone. And this can produce whiplash type symptoms, leaving the horse really sore and really tight long after the event. A very common feature with this kind of injury is the fact that it will likely repeat itself. And I find this tends to happen because the horse will begin to associate that kind of pressure with pain and fear. And so this kind of pressure-related trauma may be re-triggered when your horse feels any kind of restriction over their pole. And from here, the horse might panic and pull back again. Or if they feel the tension build up around their face in a training situation, they might panic and act in the same way they did when they triggered the trauma in the first place. With this in mind, horses who experience regular pullbacks shouldn't be tied up, or they should have safety tie-ups where the lead rope slowly releases instead of a shock release where the baling twine or the rope or the halter breaks. Likewise, I don't advocate for any training practices where the horse is put in situations where overt pressure is exerted on them anywhere but also their head, or where fear is provoked or used as a training method.